What's up guys, we are back with another review for Hasbro's Overwatch Ultimates line, taking a look at another 2-pack in this first initial wave of figures. We have got the Mercy and Pharah pack, which is one that I'm really looking forward to in particular because Pharah was my first main as far as the original lineup goes, and I've been really looking forward to this particular figure. They come in a similar 2-pack style box to the Anna and Soldier 76 figures, so you've got that white loot box kind of feel with some character artwork on the front. The figures are in that big window, and then the back of the package has got more character artwork. We've got a lineup for the wave along with some stats and a bit of a write-up as well. So let's do it. Let's pull these guys out and take a look. And here they are out of the package, our Mercy and Pharah 2-pack. Of the two 2-packs that we've gotten so far in this line, this is the one that I was personally most interested in just because of the fact that, well, Pharah has been a character that I've played more than any other since the game launched, not to mention the fact that a jetpack armored mech type suit character really does it for me. And then of course we have Mercy, which has by all accounts looked like a pretty exceptional figure all the way through all the promo and press shots that we had seen. So I was really interested to take a look at these, and they are definitely not disappointing. There are a lot of cool things going on with these two figures that I didn't really expect. Just like with the Soldier and Anna pack, they are absolutely stacked and loaded with accessories. It's pretty crazy what Hasbro's doing with this line, just from the amount of stuff we get. So we're going to start with Mercy, run through all of her details, and then we're going to get to Pharah, which is the one that I really want to dig into. So we'll start with Articulation, see how she moves around, and she's pretty similar to Anna if you saw that previous review with the Anna Soldier 2-pack, in that she is a female, so she is very similar, and they're all pretty similar across the board. So we've got a head that's on a ball hinge, so she goes down a little bit, and she goes up a little bit, then you can rotate side to side. She does have her wings, and these are considered accessories, I suppose, but they're in there already because I like the way it looks. They're balls that just peg into the back, so she has full range of motion side to side. They do pop out a little bit pretty easily, but for the most part they stay in really well. So you can rotate, hinge, up and down, in and out, all that good stuff. Arms go out, they swivel. We have got a single hinge rotating elbow. We have got hinges and rotation at the wrist. She's got an upper diaphragm, so twist, back, forward, bobble side to side. She does have an ab crunch though as well, which I just absolutely love with this line. It's something that we don't always see from Hasbro for the women. Legs go out, they kick forward, they kick back. Her skirt piece is a really thick rubbery piece, so it does kind of impede that a little bit. You've got a thigh cut, you've got double jointed knees, and then you've got hinges and rockers at the ankle down there. So she has exactly what you might expect this line to have based on having gone through Anna already. She's pretty much par for the course, I think, and she does move around really well. Now, of course, the striking thing about this figure is her design, and I think that, I mean, for my money, Hasbro has absolutely just killed it with this figure. She does have a little bit of paint slop here and there. It's not too bad. I think some of it comes from the kind of gradient colors that they're going for between the yellows to the oranges and the reds. But the design here, I think, is really solid. And I think one thing that some folks will probably like about this one is that they actually did give her kind of telltale, really wide hips. You can see that she very much is on the thicker side when it comes to her waist and her thighs. And I'm sure some people would have complained if they didn't do that, but they absolutely did. Her shape is very much intact here. But we've got her, kind of futuristic battle medic look going on here, and I just think they've done a great job. I really like everything about the design of this figure. I like the colors that they've used. They very much pop. They are pretty good. They do have some splotchiness here and there, mostly around, again, these gradient type colors. You've got it here on the skirt piece that goes down, and then there's just some fuzzy line work on the back. That's nothing that we haven't seen with Hasbro before. It's certainly not anything that's unique to this line. We see it with Legends a lot. That doesn't excuse it, but it is there. I just think that the figure looks good. There's not a whole lot to say negative about the body structure. The line work is good. The plastic feels good. Everything is kind of what I expect it to be. And then, of course, if you want to talk about the wings now, I think they look really nice. You've got maybe some room for a little bit of wash in some of these lines to bring out some of the sculpt, because there is a lot of line work in the wings themselves, but then the kind of energy effect that pops out of them is translucent yellow plastic, so you got me on the translucent there. and they just look good. They complete her kind of aesthetic, and they really beef up this figure and make her a little more larger than life than just sort of a woman wearing a white dress. The head sculpt is what I was most concerned about with this figure, though, and I think a lot of folks were as well. This one does, of course, employ photoreal tech. She doesn't really have much of an expression going on. She's sort of in a neutral expression, but her lips are nicely painted. The eyes look really good. They do have that kind of dot matrix-y look going on there. And then she does have her halo effect piece that sits around her top of the head, kind of like a crown. And then you've got her ponytail up at the top. There's not a great deal to say negative about this. The paintwork is nice. The sculpt is there. I think she very much exudes a video game look and feel here. So, if there was a photoreal kind of quota that they had with this wave, because they didn't give Anna a face, I'm really glad that they gave Mercy a go to employ this photoreal tech, because I do think that even though this is a video game, they were able to use this technology to bring a very, very realistic look about these figures. The star of the show for me, though, like I've already mentioned, is Pharah, just because of the fact that I've played her so much, so I'm really excited to look at this one. She is similar to Mercy, but a little different. Obviously, they both have things on their back, so I've put them on Pharah as well. Hers should always be on her. They are an accessory, but they aren't really an accessory, because she always has her rocket packs. So the head can look up and down a little bit, but it's not much, and it's mostly just due to the sculpt. There's really no place for her head to go back here. She can rotate side to side. The arms go out, but they're only going to go about that far. She does, of course, have a lot of stuff up there. They can rotate as well. She has a bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, which I'm kind of disappointed in. I feel like there could have been another joint there. And then we've got hinges and rotation at the wrist. We do have a hinging piece here for her shoulder pads, so you have got the inner rockets on her shoulders for her barrage. And then if you want to talk about the wings, or the packs anyway, they're ball pegs just like Mercy's, and you can rotate, swivel, in and out, up and down. And then these actually hinge open to give you the look when she's doing her full barrage for her ultimate. You've got the whole deal, so the whole system basically opens up. You've got an upper diaphragm twist. You have got a ab crunch as well, which actually has a really good range of motion. Legs go out, but they only go so far, and that's just due to the sculpt. She does have this kind of thigh armor piece that will hit her abdomen pretty quickly. You can rotate there, kick forward, kick back all the way, though. Nothing gets in the way. You've got double jointed knees, and then we've got rocker, and we've got hinges down at those ankles. So she is more in line with like a combination of the male and the female characters, because she is very much a little bit more articulated than, say, Anna specifically, and even Mercy. She's got a lot going on. The only real thing that I think she's missing would be to have double jointed elbows. Sculpt and the overall look is what is absolutely selling me on this figure, though. She does not have a ton of paint. A lot of this figure is molded plastic, and I'm sure that's going to turn some folks off. It doesn't really bother me so much. It's definitely something to note, but it doesn't really bother me too much because, and this is a thing that usually bothers some people as well, is that the majority of her figure is, of course, this blue plastic, but it's that kind of swirly, marbled, metallic plastic that Hasbro uses a lot when it comes to making characters sort of shiny, and I like it. Your mileage may vary on whether you care about that or not, but I like it. So we do have a lot of accent colors. You've, of course, got the golds and the silvers. You've got the gold and the red rocket here for her, the concussion missile? I play this character all the time, but yet I couldn't really tell you what some of the names are called. So the one where she knocks back everybody. So you've got that on her wrist there. You've got, some gold armor there, and you've got little bits painted in, kind of here and there. There's just not a lot. It's enough to say that they definitely did apply some paint, but not a lot of it either. Most of the figure's look and the appeal for me is just the sculpt, and I think they really nailed it with how she conforms to the look from the game. When I pulled her out of the package and found that these opened, that was fantastic on their own, not to mention the fact that, of course, the rocket packs also open. It makes sense that they would, but at the same time, I didn't know that they did until I actually had this in hand. Now, these, I imagine, probably could use some paint on them. They are very flat. Compared to the body, they don't seem as marbly or as have much of a shimmer or luster to them. I do like them, and they actually clip closed too, so they don't really pop open on their own. I just think she looks good. She does definitely have a little bit of room for improvement here and there, just from a more fine detail perspective, but I think the figure looks solid, and I really like a lot of what Hasbro has done on this one. And you have to keep in mind, it's a $20 figure, and for 20 bucks, I mean, there is a lot of cool sculpt going on here that, frankly, was tooled specifically for this one figure. The head sculpt on this figure is kind of hard to really talk about because most of it is obscured by the helmet. So you do have her very, Egyptian style of helmet. You've got her braids that hang out there on the right side. A little bit of silver paint, of course, a little bit of gold paint on the top. But then there is a photoreal face underneath there. And it is hard to see because it's mostly covered in shadow. She does have the tattoo that's on her face as well. But it's nicely done. Again, you're not going to see it all that often unless you're really looking for it. But it's one of those instances where they didn't necessarily have to do it, but they did it, and it's photoreal just like Mercy, and it comes across very nicely. Now, as far as accessories goes, just like the last 2-pack, this is another instance where Hasbro has crammed this box full. Even more so this time. There is a lot of stuff that they have provided to kind of beef up the presentations for these figures, not to mention just giving them all of their normal accessories. So we'll start with Mercy, and she comes with an extra set of hands. That does seem to be kind of a thing for these figures. So she's got a fist for her right hand, and then we have got another right hand, which is a kind of one of her resurrection hands. So when she's lifting someone up, basically, you've got that hand if you want to give her that type of pose. We've got her alt-fire weapon, so we've got her actual pistol. It's just black with a little white paint on it. Nothing too crazy there, and she can hold this pretty well in either of her standard hands. And then we have got her staff here. This, unfortunately, doesn't have much paint on it at all. It's just got some paint on the top, on the actual blades up here, but she can hold it fine. It is just kind of a gray, flat gray plastic, but it also has an effect piece that goes along with it. So you've got a healing effect piece that you can put on the top of it. There is no empowering effect piece, so you don't have the kind of white-blue color when you've only got the healing stream, which looks fine. I think it looks really good. At first, I thought this was for Pharah, not knowing what it was, and then I realized that there's a little nub on the top, and you pop it on, and it's just another instance of Hasbro giving you a lot of stuff for all of these figures. So if you count the wings, she does have a healthy spread of accessories just on the whole. Pharah, it comes in just as well, maybe a little better depending on how you want to look at it. So she has, again, more hands. She comes with 2 fist hands. She has 2 trigger finger hands to start with, and you've got 2 fist hands for her. You have got her rocket gun here, which has a lot of detail sculpted into it, not to mention much more paint compared to some of the other accessories as well. So you've got a lot of silver embellishments. There's a stripe of yellow that runs down here, and then you've got the red rockets that are actually sitting on top ready to be reloaded. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this particular accessory. And then she, of course, has her wings, her rocket packs that are on the back, but she also has other stuff for those as well. So I don't really consider those accessories. I consider them part of the sculpt that you just have to put on. But she also has effect pieces for those wings. So you basically have the rocket blasts that will pop out of the wings themselves. So there's 4 pieces of translucent yellow plastic here that you can peg into the backs of those wings to make it look like she's blasting off. And then of course you can have them popping out when she's posed doing her ultimate as well. So you have, again, more options and just a lot of stuff. It's really odd to get this level of accessories from Hasbro that are just entirely unique. That is pretty crazy. And speaking of unique and, well, different in general, these figures come with a stand. Of course, there's only one for both of them, so you have to pick which one you want to use it on. But we've got a big flight stand for these figures. So it is an arm style stand, so similar to like a Figma stand or a Tamashii style stand, and it's got the Overwatch emblem emblazoned in the plastic. It is movable, so it pegs into the base and it's ratcheted down at the bottom, and then it moves up at the top as well with a small ratchet. This arm does not move. This side does, and it's also ratcheted. So once it's there, it does not move, and it holds them very, very nicely. So not only do they come with all of this stuff, but they come with a stand that, frankly, is better than anything I have seen Hasbro make in a very long time. We couldn't get a stand for Silver Surfer from Marvel Legends, but we got a stand for these figures. So they're doing something pretty crazy when it comes to accessories, and frankly, I hope they keep it up. And just like with Soldier and Anna, here is a bit of a size comparison with some recent legends. So we've got our slightly larger than average Hercules, and we've got one of the slimmer, slender, but still kind of average size Marvel Legends with Living Laser here. So you can see that they're still okay with Legends. A lot of folks are saying that they may be a little bit too small. I'm not sure they're too small. I just don't know that, again, with Hasbro, there's never any true 1/12 scale with them. They fit well enough, I think, but they're definitely not, true to scale in any way across all lines. It's just never going to happen. So overall, this pack is an absolute winner for me. The only real gripes that I have about this one is that Mercy has a little bit of paint slop here and there, and Pharah maybe doesn't have enough paint, but the rest of the package just absolutely makes up for anything like that. The sculpt on these two figures is fantastic. They come with an enormous array of accessories, stuff that we really never see from Hasbro in any means. Effect pieces, extra weapons, extra hands, a stand. All of this stuff adds up to make a fantastic package that it just can't be beat as far as the price goes. There's no way that I ever have any reason to buy a Figma Overwatch figure at this point. Hasbro is absolutely killing it with this line, and I think they're doing a great job of making a great first impression with some standout figures that very much work on a number of levels, not just being cool toys, but being a complete package that has everything you need. So this is definitely a must-get if you're a big Overwatch fan. So that's going to do it for this look at the Overwatch Ultimates Mercy and Pharah 2-pack. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.